are the Crazy Hope Dealers, and today, as always, we want you to subscribe to our channel. Just as much subscribers as we can get, we would love that. Just because we have some funny stuff coming in and just some wisdom that maybe we've been given, or maybe not. Who knows? but so today, we're just going to talk. It's going to be a fun time. And we were talking about before we came on here about just things that make us laugh. Sometimes maybe when we're not supposed to be laughing. So Amy was talking about something like maybe you're in church. The church settings are well, I'm not going to say the worst because that sounds funny, but that's when, as kids, you get the most tickled. That in libraries, I feel like, because you have to be quiet.
Well, they say don't laugh is when you definitely will laugh. Like I saw a video the other day, it made me laugh, and I wasn't even there, but it was this man who was on the stage at church, and he falls off the stage.
Oh no!
The worship team was watching him, and they had to turn around, and they were about to die. And I got tickled just watching them. They were trying to hold it together, and they were trying not to look at each other.
I hope he was okay. That's so funny.
I know.
Yeah, we had my brother was the worst, in church, and Mom had to take him out multiple times because he just was loud. One time he rolled a Matchbox car all the way down on the wooden floors, and you could see it going under the pews all the way up to the front. And you'd see all these people's heads just going, what is that? And they'd keep on, and then you see children laughing. And then I saw one time this kid climb under the pews all the way up to the front. And then he stood there and he goes, hey, Mom. And then we were not supposed to be laughing. It was me and a friend of mine. And I think we were about 14 or 15. And I remember just getting so tickled because the mom went and snatched that child up and took him out. And he's like, but I was just crawling to the front. And we just started dying laughing. And we were shaking the whole pew. We were laughing, trying to keep it in because we didn't want to let out a big burst of laughter.
Yeah. So we had when I was growing up, we were in church, and our church was kind of like a cross. That was cross, but there was upstairs and there was downstairs. Or I did that backwards. Upstairs and downstairs.
We know what you're talking about.
Young people sat up in the top transepts, and so they could look down at the audience, And so I just remember us being up there, and and then there's this girl in our youth group who back then how we had different hairstyles of wings. Wings were really, really big. This was long, but then you had these wings. And it was she was on all kinds of pageants and everything. And during the middle of church, she gets her hairspray out. And
what?
Yes, she is bending over, spraying her hair, and she drops the hairspray can, and it goes bam, 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 bam. And all the parents down below look up, and I just remember seeing my mom and dad looking at me. I could not hold it together. I just fell apart. I couldn't hold it together. And when I got home, when I got that, of course, it was my fault, kind of thing.
Because you brought that hairspray in, I know you did.
It always, in church, when something happens, it's I can't hold it together. I mean, I remember sitting in church. I was in choir one time, and this man, this man was bald on top, okay, but he had used one of those spray cans to spray his hair in the back, and he was preaching the whole time. I was looking at the back of his head going, I don't know what he said the whole time.
That's funny.
And I kept looking, I was like, I know he's done something. I know he has done something to his hair. But anyway, so
Well, at least it wasn't hot in there and he started sweating and then it started dripping down his neck.
yeah, so
Oh my gosh.
filmed, so I was sitting directly behind him. So I'm sure that I was on TV going just like this.
That is
But
so
I
good.
got tickled and I couldn't stop. So church is always for me a place to get tickled. And then
Yes, we had one time, this is hilarious. There's this man and he was sitting like on the second row up front, and we were probably about 5 rows back. And you know how hearing aids a long time ago, when they are not quite right, they make this really high pitched sound.
yes.
Well, his was doing that. And so I was staring at him. I was like, I know it's him that's making that noise. Well, then as I'm staring, um, he turns around and looks at the guy next to him and he goes, "You need to turn your hearing aid down." And the other guy leaned over and he goes, "I don't have a hearing aid, it's yours." And I remember just like I was red, my whole face was red, and I was like doing that.
Yeah,
It was so funny.
in our church, we had the hearing aids were built into the pews on the end. And so my Sunday school teacher was very, very gifted singer. And she would get up and she would sing a lot of Sadie Patty songs,
Mhm.
And so a lot of that stuff was operatic. But she could hit those high notes and everything. Well, anyway, the old people did not necessarily like listening to that. And so, anyway, this old man would, I guess, take his hearing aid out when she would sing. Well, she was up there singing and she's getting finished. And he turns around to his wife. He can't hear anything. He thinks he's whispering, "Is she done yet?"
Oh no.
That I mean, I could not hold it together. My mother was pinching me. I mean, pinching me, trying to get me to stop.
Oh my goodness.
Not hold it together.
That's funny.
So I get really tickled really, really quickly. So
Well, I do too. And we have like I know we've been talking about a lot of church things, but I remember in the junior high library, it was our 6th grade, and they took us over to the big library, and then they were going to show us, around and show us the Dewey, was it Dewey Decimal?
system, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to show us that, and then for some reason Dewey Decimal really got me laughing. I don't know why. But I was sitting there and my friend was next to me, and I think it was the way the librarian said Dewey Decimal together. It just kind of sounded like, I don't know, a different language. And so I started kind of giggling to myself, and I was holding it back like this. And then my friend looks at me and she goes, "Stop it." And I was like, "I can't." And then I started laughing even more. And then she said Dewey Decimal, and then she said it wrong, and it sounded something like Dudecimal. And I was already dying laughing inside. And when she said that, I went like that. And then I had like everybody laughing.
Oh
And
my
she
goodness.
goes, "Okay, young ladies, if you cannot take the Dewey Decimal System serious, y'all are gonna have to sit out in the hallway." And I said, "I can't."
Oh
And I
my
had to sit out in the hallway.
golly. So did you get in trouble a lot at school?
I did not usually. It's usually because I was laughing though.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't get in trouble that much. But yeah, I did have my fair share of pulling pranks at
I
school.
can't imagine that, Amy.
Oh, my friend and I were given the task of like watering the plants in the lobby at school, and so
How did
We
you
were
get
out
that
there
prestigious like award?
like seventh or eighth grade, something like that. Yeah, I think it was eighth grade. Anyway, we had to fill these big old buckets up, and so we had water all down the hall. And I just remember us getting into a water fight,
Oh
and
no.
yeah, we were both soaked, and the principal looking over the railing at us, and I looked up and saw him, and I just started laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. And a lot of times when I'm in trouble, I will start laughing. That's the way I kind of deal with trouble. Like when my husband would ask me how much my credit card bill is, and I don't want to show him. I would start laughing, and I can't seem to stop.
Oh
It's not
no.
a laughing matter at all. You know,
That's funny. I know. I do. I used to smile in in awkward times because I didn't know what else to say. I was very shy growing up, and so I remember this one teacher that we had somebody that had put something in her chair that she sat on, and she was so mad, and we were, we all knew who it was, but we didn't want to tell on him because he was the biggest guy in class, and he might have done something to us. So I'm sitting over there, and she said, if somebody doesn't tell who did that, y'all are all going to get spanked. And so why did I start laughing? I don't know, but I thought that was funny that we'd all get spanked. And so I just started laughing. And she goes, is this you? Did you do this? And I was like, no, no, I just, no. And she said, okay, if nobody tells, then we're all lining up. And so she made us all line up. I was laughing the whole time. Like, why was I laughing?
it works.
I don't know. Because I was like, it's funny. I knew who it was. And finally, before the first person got spanked, he told on himself, and it was all good. But I was like, why did I laugh? I just looked like the guilty one.
Oh yeah. Well, we would be in typing class at school when I was in high school, and there was this I'll never forget. There was this girl. She was on the hefty side. Her name was Anita Joe, and I really, really, really liked her a lot. And there was this guy who just was hysterical. He would make fun of her, and it was always just hysterical. So we had this teacher. She was real small and petite, and her name was Miss Stanfield. Which, nobody teaches typing anymore. They need to teach typing. Let me just tell you. But anyway,
Yes.
so we would be in there and typing away. We'd have tests every time we started. And this guy would just be like this. He was a real good typer. He would be singing. He would call this girl Moose. Moose. And he would just be like this. And he would, it's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Oh no.
I mean, this guy could just type, nothing. And I'd fail every test because I would be
Yes.
laughing so hard. And poor Miss Stanfield, she would be like, now y'all.
Yeah, that did a lot, didn't it? Now y'all.
Now y'all.
Oh my
Anyway,
goodness. No, that's, it's so funny because everybody has their own sense of humor, and
yeah.
everybody, like some people think some things are funny and some don't. But when you're in the situation to where you can't do something, whether you can't move, you can't laugh, you can't, breathe, I mean, whatever it is, you're
Absolutely.
gonna want to do that in the middle of that.
So many people are like, get offended by, I hate to say it, but we live in a nation where people are just offended by anything. We're a nation of the offended. I hate to say it, but I just kind of laugh things off a lot of times, and you have to kind of be careful nowadays about what you kind of laugh about. Now, there's a lot of things we don't laugh about. There's just some things are just not at all laughable. Like, if somebody's, I don't know, overweight, or if somebody's, I don't know, somebody's different from you. I don't laugh at those kind of things, because when you get older, you realize, man, things that we used to do when we were younger, that's a really hurtful thing. When you're young, you
Right.
don't think about that. You don't think about that you've hurt somebody's feelings by the things that and I guess it's just a part of getting tougher, making you tougher, I guess. But
Yeah.
but anyway, so I don't know where I was going with this, because basically
That's
I go off
okay.
a tangent and I totally forget what I'm saying. But
Well, that's okay. No,
what was I saying?
it,
I don't know what I was saying.
well, see, I'm laughing inappropriately now because I'm laughing at you because you forgot what you were saying.
That's right. Well, anyway, I just laugh. I mean, laughing is a good thing for you.
It is a good thing
we
for
gotta laugh
you.
at ourselves. We gotta laugh at people. We gotta laugh at, you have to be careful nowadays. You don't hurt somebody's feelings and stuff like that. But, I just kind of laugh things on.
Well, the older you get, the more people like, oh, well, she's just old. She doesn't know what she's saying. And someone in my family, I'm not going to say who, Amy knows, but she will say things that are really, like, really can be taken the wrong way. And she just doesn't care. She just laughs and it's all funny. She makes friends wherever she goes. And sometimes I just wish I could be more like her.
Well, I think as you get older, sometimes you don't have a filter kind of thing. I mean,
Yep.
I'll tell my mom, like, it's nothing for her to, like, go up to somebody and say, now, this is where you wouldn't want to do this. This is where it's not funny. Okay. But she would go up to somebody and say, you gained weight. Like, I'd be horrified. Like,
Wow. Yes.
I told my mother, I was like, do you have to say stuff like that? Stuff like that. They don't like that, Mom. Well, she's gained weight. I'm like, but you can keep that to yourself.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Yes, it is. Like the person I was talking about telling people she was going to give them enemas. Yeah, that's not appropriate. And she was an RN. So she probably does know how to do that, but nobody wants that. Nobody.
Everybody thinks that's funny, or like, like my mother put me on the spot one time. We were in a store and she likes to shop for me. She said, I kept telling her, Mom, I'm not going to buy clothes right now because, okay, I'll just say it. I had a breast reduction, had to have a breast reduction. But my mother goes in the store and she's trying to shop for me. And I say, Mom, I'm not going to buy anything right now because there's no sense in me buying stuff until I'm done with my surgery. She goes in and she's telling all the sales clerks, my daughter's pissed to get a breast reduction. Do you think that she can fit into this?
Oh, no.
Yes, and I'm like, I turn around and I go right out the door.
Oh, yes, I would too.
Yeah,
wow.
That was a little horrifying.
Yes. Well, yeah.
I just can't laugh about that. That just wasn't funny.
Well, and there's a lot of things that we probably said too that, we think back and we're like, probably shouldn't have said it. But, it's all in good fun mostly. And just we all need laughter. It's the time, where we need laughter. But so I hope you've enjoyed us talking about just things that are funny. So I know I saw but
that was fun.
So yes, but you guys just subscribe to our channel and email us if you have anything that you would like for us to talk about, and we will see just like this perfect explanation. But y'all have a good afternoon and talk to you later.